Let's talk about one of the most common herbs out there. So common that it's considered a weed. It grows in your lawn, grows in the wild, grows all over the world. And this weed has been used for centuries, thousands of years, for its powerful healing effects. Today, we're going to be talking about dandelion. So I want to start with the Latin name. There are different species of dandelion, so the genus is called Taraxacum. Now there are over 2,000 species of dandelion. They're very common. They grow just about everywhere. The flowers are yellow, kind of look like little suns, and they turn into these white puffballs when they go to seed. You can blow on them and the seeds will go everywhere. What is dandelion? Dandelion is a perennial herb. That means it lives for more than 2 years. A perennial herb has a life cycle longer than a year, but shorter than a tree, which is why it's not a tree. Dandelion actually has a root system that goes way down a taproot, and then it sends out these lateral roots. So it's very tenacious. Once you have a dandelion growing, it's going to be very hard to get rid of it because that taproot goes deep and then it comes back every single year. Now in nature, if you have dandelions growing, it means that your soil is very fertile. Dandelions are really good at extracting minerals from the soil. So you might say, well, that's a good thing or that's a bad thing. Well, it's good if you're growing the dandelions because then you know your soil is fertile. But if you don't want the dandelions growing, then you know that you need to fertilize your lawn. Now, let's take a look at the different parts of the dandelion. We've got the root, we've got the leaves, we've got the flowers, and we've got the seeds. All parts of the dandelion are used medicinally, but the root is the most commonly used part. And what does dandelion look like? Let me show you a little bit here. This is a picture of a dandelion plant. Here's the flower here. And then you can see how it kind of goes to seed. And then you blow on it, and it goes everywhere. And here's a picture of the root here. You can see that taproot right there. Very important to know that this plant has a taproot. And then here's some leaves right here. There are many different forms of dandelion. You can get it in a tablet form, a capsule form, tea, powder, extract. How do you use dandelion? Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to use it for a liver tonic, you would probably want to use the root. If you want to use it for a diuretic, again, you'd probably want to use the root. If you wanted to use it as a blood purifier, maybe to help with some type of skin condition, you would use the leaves. Now, of course, you could just eat the leaves as greens. They have a slightly bitter taste, but they're quite nutritious, and even the flowers are edible. In fact, you can make dandelion wine. You can make dandelion jelly. You can do all sorts of things with the dandelion, but mostly people use it medicinally. Some quick facts about dandelion. It's a member of the Asteraceae family. It's related to ragweed, and it is a known allergen. The other thing is that it can be confused with a false dandelion, so just be aware of that. Make sure you learn how to properly identify the dandelion before you consume it. How do you prepare dandelion? Well, you can take the whole root, and you can wash it off, and you can roast it, and grind it up into a powder. Or you can take the root, and you can cut it up into little pieces, and you can either put it in a tea or put it in capsules. The powerful benefits of dandelion. Dandelion is known as a liver tonic. The reason why it's a liver tonic is because it helps stimulate the flow of bile. So it helps with any type of digestive problem that you might have, especially that involves the liver, such as hepatitis, fatty liver, cirrhosis. It also stimulates the flow of urine. Hence, it's a powerful diuretic. So anything where you need more urine output, like edema in the legs or ankles, kidney stones, or even water retention during pregnancy, it's also great for purifying the blood. So any type of skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, acne, dermatitis, as well as being a very powerful adaptogen, helping your body adapt to stress, physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress. It's also anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antioxidant, hepatoprotective, cardioprotective, meaning it protects the heart, and it also has some anti-cancer properties. What is interesting about the anti-cancer property is that it induces apoptosis. What is apoptosis? That is a fancy word for programmed cell death. So if you have cells in your body that are becoming cancerous and not dying, well, guess what? Dandelion can come in and kill those cells. But another interesting thing about dandelion is it supports healthy cells. So it doesn't just kill cancer cells, it supports the healthy cells. So it helps maintain the normal healthy cells, which is very unique to dandelion. And it does this by supporting something called phase 2 detoxification enzymes. So if you want to learn more about phase 2 detoxification enzymes, I created a very interesting video on that topic. Just check it out. So when it comes to cancer, anything that you can do to support the liver is going to be very beneficial. Anything that supports the liver is going to help support your overall health. So who should be cautious with dandelion? People with ragweed allergies, you need to be careful with dandelion. Also, if you have a known allergy to plants in the Asteretia family, you need to be cautious, and you should always test a small amount on your skin for possible contact dermatitis. Some people might be sensitive to it. Now, the other caution is you don't want to take too much. And what is too much? Well, anything in excess is going to be bad for you. So even water. If you drink too much water, you're going to die. If you don't drink enough water, you're also going to die. Everything in this world is about balance, including dandelion. The general rule with herbs is you want to use them for a short period of time, unless it est something like ginkgo biloba, turmeric, reishi mushroom, things like that. But when it comes to dandelion, it's best to use it for a short period of time. You don't want to use it for a long period of time. You can use it for maybe a couple weeks to a couple months, and then you want to stop and then maybe do a different herb. One contraindication with dandelion is that it can lower your potassium levels. So if you already have low potassium, don't take dandelion. Here's a cool recipe for you. I'm going to give you a recipe for dandelion tea. Dandelion tea recipe. You take the dandelion root. You take 2 to 3 slices of the root, and you steep it in boiling water for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you strain it, and then you drink it. It's going to have a slightly bitter taste, but it's actually quite good, and you can add a little bit of honey to it if you want. So now let's do a little Q&A. What is the best time of day to consume dandelion? Well, you can take it any time, but some people prefer to take it in the morning because it's a little stimulating. It can help wake up the liver. Another question. Can I grow my own dandelion? Absolutely. I mean, you probably have some growing right now in your front lawn. Question. Is it okay to eat the leaves? Yes, it's totally fine. You can even grow them as greens. Question. What is the best form to take dandelion? Well, that's going to depend on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to accomplish liver support, I would probably recommend the root. If you're trying to accomplish a diuretic effect, I would probably use the root. If I was going to use it for the blood purifying effect, I would use the leaf. I hope you enjoyed this video on dandelion. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And always remember, take control of your health. Be the healer, not the patient.